My sister seduced my boyfriend into falling in love with her and he left me to date her. So I got back together with my ex and showed him that I'm better off without him. I have been with Mark for 2 years. We have no plans of ever getting married and he cheated on me while he was wasted one time. It was whatever and I forgave him because we're best friends that do everything together and live together. Though recently I've been questioning my relationship with him because of 2 things. The first one is how weird he is with my sister. My sister has always been the pride of our family because of how insanely beautiful she is. She's petite, blonde and blue-eyed and men and women drool at the sight of her. For as long as I can remember, I've been in her shadow. My parents spoiled the crap out of her, buying her anything she wanted no matter how expensive and treating her with the utmost protection as if she was made of glass. She could get one paper cut and they'd take her to the hospital while she wailed like a baby. I learned to live with that, but my sister always took things too far. She had a habit of stealing everything that was mine, from petty things like jewelry and clothing to friends and boyfriends. She's managed to seduce 2 of my boyfriends with her good looks and skinny body that were only a byproduct of Avi collagenic elite. Only one of my boyfriends didn't fall for her tricks, but I could tell Mark wasn't going to be like him. Since I was hesitant in introducing Mark to my family, she only met him recently but she wasted no time in putting the moves on him. She'd invite him over to her house, saying she needed help moving some large boxes, or she'd openly flirt with him in front of me by feeling his muscles and telling him how big he was. Anytime I tried to put a stop to her tricks, she'd pull out the crocodile tears and say that I was accusing her of doing heinous things. And then Mark would take her side and say I was overreacting, and then, wiping her tears away. Every time without fail my sister would look at me and smirk. I could tell my boyfriend regretted meeting me first because he wants to be with her, but he doesn't know that my sister wouldn't date him if we broke up. She'd spit out some excuse that their relationship would be considered taboo because you're my sister's ex. In reality, she only wants them when I have them. The second reason is because when my last ex Theo and I broke up, the one that only had eyes for me and didn't spare a second glance at my sister, we made a pact. If we still had feelings for each other 5 years later, then on June 1, 2024, we would meet up at 5 p.m. at the observation deck of the Empire State Building where we met. June 1st is nearing and I keep thinking about it. Every now and then I have thought about Theo and our pact, and every little thing reminds me of him, but I had no idea if he ever thought about me. There was a chance that he forgot all about me in the pact. It plagued my mind for a month straight. Even though I thought I had made up my mind about not going to New York, I found myself taking the Avi collagenic elite so that I could be skinny and beautiful when I did meet him. The night before June 1st, I was still fighting with myself but I suddenly woke up the next morning with the strongest gut feeling of my life that I need to be there. I bought a plane ticket to New York and even though I had no idea if Theo would be at the observation deck, I had to go. I also told Mark that we were through before I boarded the plane because whatever happened on that observation deck, I knew it was going to change the trajectory of my life, and I didn't want Mark in my life anymore. By the time it was 5 p.m. I reached the observation deck and found Theo there. My heart skipped a beat and I realized I never stopped loving him. I walked up to him and he gave me a big smile and said hi. I couldn't help hugging him and suddenly it was 5 years ago and we were dumb and in love. The only reason we split up is because we went to different colleges and couldn't do long distance. I wish we tried harder to make it work, then I never would have met Mark. When I let go, he joked that I obviously still remembered our pact. When I left, his feelings came pouring out. He told me that he wants to give us another chance because he can't imagine his life with anyone else. He's been on many dates and had one relationship that lasted over a year, but he said that he always had a gut feeling that they weren't going to work out. When I asked why, he told me that they weren't me. He said that he knew he wanted to be with me forever because I was the girl that made him smile, the girl that he wanted to wake up to every morning, and he knew he would genuinely be happy knowing that we were together. Theo told me that I have been his only want and desire, and that his biggest regret in life is letting me go and trying to move on. Theo said it was the stupidest mistake of his life because I am his soulmate and love of his life, and that's why he looked forward to June 1, 2024 every day of his life. He said that he was fully prepared to be in a relationship with me because he loved me, and nobody else will ever take the place I have in his heart. He said that he wanted to be part of my life and grow old together. I was honestly shocked at his confession, and though it was 5 years overdue, he meant every word of it. I told him that I never stopped thinking about him and that I want to try again. Even though I had just broken up with Mark, I couldn't stand the thought of letting Theo walk away again. I told him that I didn't want to rush into a relationship. I told him that we would always be more than friends, but I wanted us to get to know each other again because a lot can change in 5 years. Luckily, he agreed. We spent the rest of the night sharing stories of what life has been like, shared each other's hobbies, and we talked about the past and what we were like when we were younger. The more we talked, the more I realized I wanted to spend the rest of my life with him. Everything just felt so perfect, from the way he laughed, spoke, and held me in his arms. Theo always knew exactly what to say to make me feel safe and cherished. The next month consisted of us going to visit each other whenever we could. We'd go to the beach, festivals or just stay at each other's place, and I was glad I had taken the Avi collagenic elite because the last thing I needed was for him to grab one of my rolls while we were cuddling. Luckily, Mark didn't make a fuss when I broke up with him and he was chasing after my sister, who to no one's surprise was but he wasn't having any of it. When she tried to hug him when she saw him again, he immediately moved out of the way and she fell to the floor. He told her that he couldn't believe she was still an immature child, and that she needed to stay away from him. I had never seen someone speak like that to my sister before, but it was refreshing. I nearly proposed to him on the spot just for doing that, but we still had a long way to go before our wedding.